Good morning, Keith. Team, I am here with Keith Alvarez, one of the top producers in the market who had a fantastic month last month. Welcome to Director's Chats, a Rocky Mountains podcast. Keith, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Outstanding. I am humbled to be in your presence. I love talking to people who can do everything better than I ever could. It amazes me. I'm a big fan of you. You're a well-known name within the market. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions today so that we can share some of your experiences with the rest of the market. But let's start off with something. What is something that you do with each and every customer?
I mean, besides the normal sales process of, trying to sell Elite and 3 accessories and P1 and next up, the one thing that I noticed that, most people should be doing is I live in a market that doesn't have our fiber. So I ask everyone, usually at the end of a transaction, so I've closed the actual sale that they came in there for, usually during like contact transfers or right at the tender part. I'll ask them who they have for their home internet. And in this area, there's Comcast or Xfinity and CenturyLink. And it gauges me to do two things. There's one path where if someone has Xfinity, then I lead into asking them, how much do they pay each month? And then they tell me. If it's anywhere close to 200 or more, I automatically know that they probably have TV service. And then I will pull up the Xfinity app on my tablet and I ask for their address, and they give me their address, and I'll have them log in if they have their logins or not. And it tells me what the average speeds at their house are and how much the average price is or how much they're paying if they're logging in. And that gauges me into telling them, okay, how much I can save them or how much I can get close to that. And then I times that by 24 months because that's the cost of the box times 24 months. And I kind of get them set on that price. With our service, there's no contract. We have unlimited DVR, etc. But the goal behind it is to give them better service for equal or less money that they're currently paying. And with Xfinity, it's pretty easy to do if you do what I'm doing, because it gives me a close to, if not an accurate amount of how much they're paying each month. So the customer is not obviously being misled. They don't have to go back and check their bill because it's already on my tablet for them. So that's kind of the first step. The other path is if, let's say, they have CenturyLink, and I automatically know that they're going to either have no actual paid TV service, or they're going to be streaming. And if I do that, that gives me the option to pull up the quick quote on the tablet, and I can bundle in their service with our AT&T or DirecTV, depending on which location they live at, and I can build it into one price for each month. This is how much you're going to pay for home entertainment plus wireless versus what you're currently paying for right now. So one of those two avenues is kind of what I do with every single customer, but the key is you got to ask every customer. If they shut you down, they shut you down, and that's okay. But if people are going to ask every customer, they're going to get comfortable with their pitch, and they're going to actually be able to find their right rhythm. This is the rhythm that I found. When we used to have the 2-year contracts, I used to bundle in, which Joshua knows quite well, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes, because once the 1 year happens and the price goes up, the boxes drop off at that point, which kept it roughly around the same price that I quoted them. So you just got to find that rhythm with every customer that you're selling it to. And then most importantly, you demo it. You go to the TV, you show them the box, you show them how easy it is to set up. And then finally, as they're leaving, or right before they leave, and this is the thing that I think some reps may miss out on, is you want to set it up for them in the store as far as their username and their login, get it working on their cell phone. Show them how easy it is to set it up. And then I give them my work number and I say, hey, if you have any questions, give me a call. We can FaceTime. We can, use Google, whatever it takes in case you have any issues. But it's extremely simple.
I love that, Keith. So, some of the things that I wrote down for you is almost a customized path that starts with whatever the customer says, and then it you know exactly which avenue to go down for them. That's beautiful, beautiful. Keith, you're obviously an elite player on the field. We have a lot of good reps, but elite, that's a tough crowd to get into. Is there a secret sauce to being elite?
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this since 2004 as far as in the wireless field, and I've had some great leaders, and I just kind of take bits and pieces of my peers and leaders that I've had over the course of my history, and then I kind of utilize that to come to the one conclusion that um, you got to have the customer tell you essentially where they're at. You want them to tell you what they want without them telling you exactly what they want. So by asking qualifying questions, you automatically know what they want. And then you kind of use that against them in your sales pitch. Based on what you told me, this is what's going to work good for you. And then in your mindset, you want to top down sell. You want to start with the most value, because that's kind of how I picture AT&T is, we're the value carrier. We offer everything. We offer, and in some states home internet, but TV, wireless, hotspot, truly unlimited data, a great accessory promotion. Like that's kind of who we are. And if you can utilize what customers are telling you based on qualifying questions, you can kind of use that against them and build that quote to where they don't want to say no because that's what they told you.
Brilliant, brilliant. I hope that everybody listens to this. That's excellent. And something I hadn't thought of is when you're doing that top-down selling and you're going through everything the customer told you want, you're really saying it's going to be tough for them to say no because a few minutes ago they told you yes without saying yes yet. So cool. You're obviously a top TV seller within the market. What's your favorite feature on ATTV?
I mean, well, there's two of them, obviously. I like the truly unlimited DVR because that's something that, Dish doesn't have, Comcast doesn't have. And it gives you that that home TV kind of experience. Yes, there's YouTube TV and Hulu and all that other stuff, but I really feel that AT&T TV gives you that like home feeling that customers are currently have, or that they currently have. But my personal favorite, because I have kids, is the child safety feature on it. I have a 10 and 8-year-old that have it in their room, and I'm most people that I tell don't know this, but you can set it up to where they can't watch certain channels, and that's a huge selling point versus some of our competitors. So.
Wow, Keith, my kids are about the same age as yours, and I have been reluctant to give them a TV in their room yet. How'd you make the decision that they earned a TV for their room?
They do some good chores around the house. I like to teach all my kids stuff in life is earned. It's not just given to you. So my kids, do a great job with chores, and they always help out, and they clean up after dinner, and they do their homework. And when you do that, you're earning something. So, and that's very important in life.
So good. I'm going to steal that from you. Okay, Keith, you're obviously an elite player on the field, but I'm pretty sure you don't go home and practice pitches for TV in the mirror, at least not all the time. What does Keith do for fun outside of work?
Outside of work, I do enjoy playing hockey. I actually live next to an ice rink. I played hockey all my life as a goaltender, so I'm a huge Avalanche fan. But that's kind of what I do for fun outside of work, besides being a very dedicated dad.
Well, yeah, being a dedicated dad is the biggest job of all of them. I don't know, Keith.
It is.
You have beautiful teeth. Are you sure you play hockey?
I'm a goalie, so my face is all covered up and nice and protected.
Well covered. That's awesome. I love that. Keith, I know you may or may not have had time to reflect on this, but what is currently your 5-year plan?
I definitely had time to reflect on it. So I really enjoy being a leader. but I know that I have to learn from the best in order to be a leader. So I follow really close to my current SM and my area manager, Jocelyn. So that's kind of the path that I'm taking, to be a assistant manager, store manager, and maybe after 5 years, I'd like to go into marketing. I've been around since 2004, and I've seen this whole thing change from big phones to small razors, back to big phones again, and I know that kind of plays a big part in this company. And with AT&T, the sky's the limit.
That's really cool. Well, I just happen to know your boss and your boss's boss. They're excellent people, excellent leaders to learn from. And you didn't say it, but I think you were thinking it. Leadership and top sales don't always go together, right? Being a top seller doesn't automatically make you a great leader. And
Correct.
so maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. I'd like to, we'll dive into a little bit of how you're developing yourself, how others are developing to get to leadership for it.
Yeah.
And 5 years for marketing. So, just be open-minded. Marketing is a hot spot for people to go to, a little competitive, but it may require you to move your family to an area where there's a marketing hub for it. And so there's just things to think about. But in 5 years, that's plenty of time for you to adjust and move on. And maybe the marketing team will come to Colorado. Who knows?
Right.
And you won't have to move.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And so outside of marketing, are there any other parts of the company you'd like to learn a little more about?
I mean, I've done sales my whole career, and I love it, and it's hard to like get away from. And I love teaching sales. So I've talked to my wife too about, in the future being a trainer or something, or like
Mm-hmm.
learning, that kind of aspect of it, because I definitely find it fun when I help my peers, sell certain products or sell Elite and sell TV and and kind of show them their own like path of being successful, and that does bring me joy. And when I was a store manager at Sprint, when you help promote people above you or to you, or want to be better than you, that's a good feeling, and that's a great feeling.
Yeah, that sure is. I'm listening to you talk and thinking of some things. I've taken some jobs that weren't directly sales related, and you certainly go
Hmm.
through an adrenaline letdown on it.
Hmm.
Because we live day to day on the edge, checking dashboard the next day. You know exactly what you have to do to hit
Yes,
your target and exceed. And then you get into a job where it's like, oh, how do I measure my success? Where's the dashboard? My phone's
exactly.
not ringing after
Yes,
5.
yes.
But that's called getting out of our comfort zone. And so I'm glad you brought that up. It's going to do something that's so different that you almost have to reformat yourself to be great
Yes.
at it. Yeah, really good points there. What do you do for your own self-development? Listen, me and your leaders, we have a responsibility to help develop you. That's part of our job. But
Yeah.
you share part of that responsibility also on how are you self-developing yourself. What are some recent things you've done?
Um, I like to reach out to usually my current leadership, to kind of figure out what it takes to go to the next level, or I'll assist in stuff that isn't part of like my own duties, like checking in accessories, learning how to trade in phones, um, learning planogram, just like I can't just sit back and expect someone else to develop me. I need to make sure that I'm, being, that all my trainings are done, that I'm,
Mm-hmm.
um, checking, um, you know, the dashboard every day, checking, like when I clock in, I check my email, I check the latest news, and I just stay up to date. And um, I just feel that helps me, because I'm the only person that can drive me to be successful. So by doing that, I'm always prepared every day when I come to work.
I love that. That's excellent. And Keith, I don't know if maybe you do or don't know. I heard you're a recent selection to Rise.
Where's what?
I heard you were a recent selection to the Rise program, which is a ton of
Yes.
self-development.
Yes, sir. I had my first class yesterday. So
Oh, cool.
that was fun actually. I met a lot of good people, learned a lot of cool stuff. The pie pyramid, performance image. It's just, I don't know, exposure. It's just a lot of fun. So this company has so many endless opportunities. I'm just so grateful to be a part of it.
So cool. Study, memorize, and live the pie chart.
Mm-hmm.
Either called a pyramid or a chart at times. That is the single best way to take charge of your own career and not wait around for others to do it for you. To this day, I use pie on a daily basis for myself. It works. It's tried and true, and it works for it. Keith, as we start to wrap up here, any thoughts on best practices or mentalities or things that you'd like the entire market to know that you think could make us all a little bit better?
Know what you're selling and come to work prepared. I mean, there's a lot of money to be had in selling these excellent products for customers. And don't be afraid to like take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Um, I mean, I'm sure Jocelyn knows when I first got to the store, you know, selling TV wasn't, something that everyone was comfortable with. And that's not something that I ever did at my previous, companies because that just wasn't an option to sell. And I find things new to be exciting. And when you're not afraid of something and you take it head on, you then become successful at it. So I failed a lot and I had a lot of no's. And when I got my first yes, I used parts that I liked and I kept critiquing it until I got really good at it. And the pay is really good for it too. And that's something that I think that some reps may be I guess kind of avoiding is that this is an excellent product to sell, and you want to make sure that you're aware that you are getting rewarded for that risk you're taking. So just come to work every day and take some risks.
Yeah, it's so cool you said that because not everybody, Keith, you know this, not everybody's motivated by the same people. Some people are motivated by money, some by glory, some of all of it combined. And but whatever it is that you're motivated by, you can be highly successful. Keith, I've really enjoyed spending some time with you. You kind of just made me think of tomorrow the company might ask us to sell pink clown noses. And you know what? You would be the best at selling that, right? It doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to serve the customer for what they want, and that's so cool. So, Keith, I'm humbled that I got to spend 30 minutes with an elite seller, and I really hope that the market listens to your words, takes some challenges there. I'd love to see some of your friends and peers on this Director's Chat sometime in the near future. And thank you for joining the Rocky Mountain Podcast. Talk to you soon, Keith.
Thank you, sir. Bye.